Hi knitting friends, Shaina Bilow here. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to drop a stitch and pick it back up in Stockinette. You may not need help with the dropping part, but the picking up part I've got you for. Before you start picking up your drop stitch, you want to make sure you have a crochet hook that's a similar size to your knitting needle. So here you'll notice my knitting needle and crochet hook are roughly the same circumference. If you knit in a variety of knitting needle sizes, you may also want to invest in different crochet hook sizes too, so that you can pick up mistakes and drop stitches with different size hooks to accommodate your needle size. Let's start. We're going to drop a stitch. I'm dropping my 6th stitch here on the needle, and this happens to be the 11th row or so that I'm working on. So as this stitch drops, I just want you to think about this with me. Here's row 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Each of the rows that we knit creates this elongated strand as the stitch drops. So I want you to be able to recognize that, because once you can start to see that our knitting is really just a grid, it becomes a little bit easier to pick up. So I'm going to take my crochet hook in my right hand with the hook facing up, and I'm going to insert my hook into the very last loop that I can find, not the bar, the loop, that stitch there that's sticking up. So my hook goes into that, and I'm holding it in my right hand. If you're left-handed, you'll hold the hook in your left hand. With my index finger on my left hand, I'm going to put my finger just behind all of these rows that have come out, and my hook is still in the right hand. All right, so I'm putting my finger here so that I can really see those stitches, each of those rows. And this is how you pick up. You insert your hook under the first row, or you could think of them as rungs on a ladder, under the first ladder, and pull that through. Hook is facing up. I go under the ladder. I turn my hook a little bit to help bring that ladder through. Hook faces up again. Just a delicate pull through here. Once you have that stitch picked up, it can go back onto the left-hand needle from front to back so that it won't twist. Now, I planted a couple of other mistakes in here, so occasionally you'll notice something like this on your needles, or maybe you're looking at the back of the work and you see a little loop just like this. What that is a row that got skipped or dropped. Here is another row that got skipped or dropped or just passed over. So I'm going to knit up to those spots and show you what I do when I encounter these in my projects. So when I see something like this, I say to myself, aha, it's going to be much easier to see what I'm doing if all of my ladders are laying straight and my stitch column is well defined. So occasionally, quite often actually, I make my mistakes worse in order to see them more clearly. So here we go. Now that I can see that, I can pull up each of these ladders one after another. And I'm ready to keep knitting. And now here, this is interesting. When you find a stitch like this on the wrong side, you can place a marker to indicate which column it's on. That will help you find it. Here I am. I'm on the column that has the missing stitch. And just to show you what happens if we pick up on the opposite side, I'm going to do that now. So I'm dropping all these ladders until I get to this ladder here. If you pick up on this side here, just going to pull one extra out. If you pick up on this side here, so I've got my wrong side facing, and I start bringing up these stitches on each of the rows up my ladder, you will notice you've created now a ribbing. So picking up like this is handy. If maybe you needed a ribbing somewhere and you got the wrong stitch in one place, you can turn your work to the opposite side and pick up this way to get the ribbing. All right, so it's handy to know that. If you happen to be on the wrong side like this and you drop your stitch, and you want to pick it up in stockinette to match the remainder of the fabric, you would turn to the right side of the work and pick up. So basically, anywhere that you want to pick up a flat stitch, make sure your hook is on that side of the work. So if I want my flat stitch on this side of the work, my hook is doing the pickup job on this side of the work as well. Happy knitting!